Hello. Today I would like to talk about repositories, the kind of information that we want to share. Remember that the purpose of the repository is for the user to be able to understand what are you working on and how can they use your code. So there is this section called about where we describe the main content. I believe that when you search for a repository, the about is the text that appears here. So make sure to be precise. Um, there is a README file here that uses mark code, and the README file is rendered, and we see what you're seeing here is the content of this file. In our case, we put the title and we put a link to the archive paper. We put sample code so that people can run our our code. We put some statistics. We also put tests. A test is very important because if the user makes some changes, then you help them verify that those changes still did not hurt the program. We also have information for people how to use our code, prerequisites, this is very important, and some extra information about reproducibility, uh, license. This part is actually very important. We also added information about citation. How can people should cite our paper if they use it for the research? And of course, every time I make a project, I do not remember all of this. What I do is I uh, take the text, this README file, and I adapt it to uh, different projects. So that's what I want to show you today. And instead of taking mine, I'm gonna take a standard repository. So I search on Google for a standard repository GitHub, and I found this one. It's very complete, so I think this is good. And what you do is you use this template and then you adapt it to your code. I like it because well, it has a little bit more information than what I need, but that's something you can decide. You can just copy all and remove whatever you don't need. So how do we do that? Go to use this template, and in my case, because I do not have access to Mendoza Cortez, I can only write on my own account. So I'm gonna call it repo test. Uh-huh. And description, this is a temporary repository. I'm gonna make it private because this is just a test. And now, instead of the original owner, which was Anson Siva, now it belongs to my GitHub account. And we're gonna assume that you have information already, that you have a project or you're starting a project, then you just adapt this part using your information. So let me just give you some examples about how to use Markdown. The first part was an image. I do not have an image, so I'm gonna remove this. This is a yeah open source GitHub repository template. Now the nice flags that you see here, they are made in a website called shields.io. And so I'm gonna give you an example. I click shields.io badges, and in badges, I'm gonna go to social and GitHub repo stars. And so here it tells you how to create your own flag. So I'm putting here as a user, I'm putting Mendoza Cortes group because I want to obtain the number of stars from this repository of the group. Uh, and so we go here, the Mendoza Cortes group, and here we put the name of the repo, which is machine learning class. Both of these you can find it here, Mendoza Cortes group and machine learning class. And then when you click, let's say we are gonna use URL or Markdown, then you do execute, and it's gonna give you this uh, uh, the number. Actually, just for fun, we can also see forks, I think. Yeah. So we agree that the user was, I need to copy it again. The user was this, and the repo was a machine learning class, and then we execute. All right, all right. So the problem is, no, wait, there should be no problem. 1 second. I think I put a space. The problem was there was a space. Right. So now it's telling us the number of forks. Let me copy this. It's used for testing. Okay, copied. And so we go to our repository, and in principle, what you should add is uh, mm, oh, that's very funny. Let me remove everything. Well, what did I copy? Did I copy URL? Markdown, URL, HTML. Okay, copy HTML. Uh-huh. Uh, because this is inside of an HTML. Okay, so if we do preview, provided I did not remove too much. Yes, here is the number of forms. But you should do it for the same repository you are working. So instead of the user, I should put Ruby1, and instead of the repository, I should put repotest. But because this is a new repository, it will show 0. I just wanted you to see that this is actually being updated. Um, Something else that you might want to know, right? If you just click on the pen or in edit, you can see the code. Uh, perhaps perhaps something that all of this you can follow it. However, I wanted to give an advice with respect to colors, but they are not using colors here. So let me go back to my own repository. So I think it's this one, this one. Yes. So you see that here when we're showing the code has colors. And to do that, you have to modify the markdown. So everything that is between these symbols is going to be displayed as code, and you can actually write the language that you are using, and then markdown is going to automatically use colors to separate the syntax. So that looks very nice. And I think this is everything I need to share. So I show you, I mean, I gave you what parts I consider are very important in a repository. And then for you to start, you can use, oh, no, not this one. Yeah, for you to start, all you have to do is go to this repository of the standard repository and use this template, or you can also go to our profile and just modify, I mean, copy the markdown file and modify it with the information of your project. That's okay. Don't forget to add a license, etc. Okay, if you have any question, let me know. Uh,